You're listening to Heritage Radio Network. HRN is food radio supported by you. Learn more at heritageradionetwork.org.
This episode is brought to you by Roberta's, home of Heritage Radio Network. Roberta's was founded in Bushwick in 2008 and has become one of the most iconic restaurants in the country. HRN made its home inside of Roberta's in 2009, and together they have become part of the DIY fabric of the neighborhood. Roberta's is open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week and serves much more than just the famous wood-fired pizzas. Their team dreams up new salads, pastas, and sandwiches on the regular. Roberta's Tiki Bar is alive and well in the back garden, serving up frozen drinks in the summer and hot toddies in the winter. Stop by the bakery and takeout spot next door for fresh breads, sticky buns, and pizzas to go. But Roberta's also extends beyond Bushwick, with multiple locations in New York City, Long Island, and Los Angeles. You can also find their frozen pies in grocery stores around the country. The spirit of Roberta's, like Heritage Radio Network, is everywhere. Here's to many more years of pizza-powered radio. Learn more about Roberta's at robertaspizza.com.
This is Peter Reinhardt, and we're on Pizza Quest, and I'm here at the International Pizza Expo. We've been here for a couple of days, but we've been collecting weeks worth of interviews and podcasts with some of the most interesting people in the pizza world, and I'm with one of them right now, Ajith Dharmadwarna, the owner of Fire Within, one of our favorite companies. We're longtime friends. I'm a longtime supporter of what you're doing with Fire Within, which are mobile pizza ovens. You have put hundreds and hundreds of people into business with their own pizza trucks. Is that right?
Peter, I'll tell you, it's honored to be in your company. You know that anytime I get to hang out with you, that's good time. So yeah, we have about 1,800 oven owners in all 50 states, and we are overseas. And so this is such a rewarding journey, right? I mean, talking to the almighty of pizza, coming to Peter Reinhardt. So it's a fun business. I feel like it's a privilege to touch people's lives with pizza and their journey, and story goes on.
People who aren't familiar with Fire Within, and many more are now than a few years ago when they didn't know about you. But for those who aren't, let's talk about what defines a Fire Within oven. It's a beautiful. I'm standing in front of one right now. Our viewers can't see it, so I have to describe it. But it's a wood-fired oven inside a beautifully, what would you call it, tiled dome on a rig on wheels, and it's outfitted to be kind of open up and become an instant kitchen, an outdoor kitchen, right? And these are not ovens that are inside of another larger truck. These are freestanding. And then what people do, I'll describe it, you tell me if I got it right. So they hook them up to their pickup truck or whatever and just drive to wherever they're going to have their event. And they set up shop. And it can be a regular spot that they go to every day, or it can be an event that they cater, or a special event. It could be a festival, it could be anything. But the ovens themselves are a thing of beauty. They attract people. But they're also beautifully constructed. So again, did I kind of describe that correctly? Did I miss anything there?
I think you nailed it, Peter, and I think that's the idea. We all can go to a pizzeria and sit down and break bread. I think what Fire Within's effort is to take pizza to the people. Really doesn't matter. Could be somebody's backyard, could be in the winery, it could be on the 9th hole, or it could be in a resort, or it could be on the beach.
And it doesn't even have to be just pizza. It can be anything you can cook in a wood-fired oven, which is pretty much anything.
Absolutely. If you go to Italy, anything that's going to be at the dinner is going to go into that oven, right? Either it's going to be cooked or kissed by the fire. So that's the whole concept of Fire Within. And we have, Fire Within has probably 24 to 26 different models.
Really
we have the most diverse line of trailers. Basically, we put ovens on wheels. And I go to sleep knowing that 1,800 of these are traveling in federal highways and different countries.
And they're all over the place, not just in the
That's
States.
right. That's right.
So how do people learn how to use them, how to drive this tool?
So this is interesting because what makes Fire Within, we have 4 major components to our company. Everybody knows that we are the leader in the world when it comes to mobile wood-fired pizza oven construction. Putting it on the road. And another big aspect is we are educators. We have something called Wood Fired University. This is the longest running teaching institution when it comes to how to build and run a mobile wood-fired catering enterprise.
Not just how to run the oven, but how to run the whole business.
Exactly. You can learn in a lot of places how to go and make pizza, but there's only one place that they can come to learn how to build and run a mobile wood-fired catering enterprise.
So that's like what, a 2 or 3 day intensive?
It's a 2.5 days intensive. We put you to work. We ask two things: come hungry, come ready to work. And that way we know that you're ready to.
And I've been to some of them, and I've taught at them. And you always have teachers there teaching them new ideas for how to use the oven, and how to set them up, how to set up the fire, how to manage the oven. So there's instruction for all that.
That's right. And so that's the second aspect. The third one, which we are really proud of, it's called Rolling in the Dough, one of a kind. We are never ever happy with that book. We update it every year. This is the 6th edition. It's called Rolling in the Dough. It's a complete business manual, A to Z, how to build and run this business, right? So the 6th edition just came out.
Wow.
And the last part of Fire Within is, I think, is the crown jewel. What we call the fire starters, the Fire Within oven owners. It's a forum. So each one of Fire Within family members support each other, free of charge, lifetime of support. It really doesn't matter where you are in your journey. You could be just an oven owner with a single oven, has a question. Let's say you're in Florida and it's 90 degrees, 90% humidity, you have trouble with your dough. You go to the forum and ask a question, you'll see 25, 30 responses.
So all the oven owners have created their own support community for each other.
Exactly. That's called Fire Within Oven Owner Forum. So those four things really separate us from anybody else in the world.
So that's what they get when they kind of decide to take on ownership of one of your ovens. They get the support, they get the training, and they get a relationship with you and your kind of leadership team as well.
That's right, Peter. So starting last year, there was a huge step Fire Within took. We purchased a trailer manufacturing company.
Oh, wow.
So we are manufacturers of.
So you're not contracting with the manufacturer.
Right, exactly.
You are the manufacturer.
And not only we are a dealership and we manufacture trailers. And another exciting thing happened about 2 years ago. We started using 4 to 5 different kinds of ovens. We have Valeriani, which is probably the Maserati of ovens, come from Tuscany, Italy. And so we use those ovens, and then we have Italian Reserve, exclusively built for Fire Within, come from Modena, Italy. And then also we use Earthstone out of LA, Maurice and Jean-Paul, those people. And another very exciting oven company that we are working with is called Fano Piombo. Very excited. They're out of Napa Valley, and it's American-made oven, and the owners are local. So it's very exciting.
How does a buyer of one of your oven rigs decide which oven insert to put in there?
That's a great question. There are some oven owners, they know exactly what they want. They're very sophisticated. They understand the oven architecture and they understand the history of the manufacturers. Others, we educate them. We basically ask a set of questions. Our goal is to make sure that they start out with the minimal amount of investment. If somebody can pay for their oven within the first couple of seasons, I think that's a success story.
You mean if they earn back enough to cover the
Absolutely,
cost? Yeah.
absolutely. And
is that the common story?
We have had oven owners pay for their oven within the first season, right? It all depends on what their goals are, right? Some people will do this as a hobby. I mean, you talk to Michael Shapiro, he's a retired, law enforcement. That's his golf money, right? I mean, he might pull
he's having fun with it, but he's not dependent on it. Yeah.
And then you have someone like Siler Chapman.
The man, know well, and he lives in Charlotte near me, and we're friends.
That's your neighbor, right?
Yeah, and we do a lot of things together.
I mean, he's on steroid. He has his own commissary kitchen. He has 4 ovens.
He's growing that business like crazy. Yeah.
And he has a management team. I mean, that's a whole different level. So we have the whole range of oven owners, and so that's the beauty of that's what I'm excited about, being the owner of Fire Within.
That's awesome. Well, it's been great. This is new to me. This news about having so many different oven choices now, and so I'm excited to hear that. It's kind of changed, and that you now manufacture your own
Trailers.
Do all your own. What's the word? Manufacturing, is that the term?
Manufacturing trailers, yeah.
So that's a big step. So since I've last talked to you, the company has taken a couple of major, steps and investments in growth. But while I have you, before we run out of time, I wanted to kind of shift us off of now talking about the company. We've gotten a chance to give Fire Within a little bit, let everyone know about it, and I want to thank you also for your support of Pizza Quest over the years. But let me take advantage of your industry knowledge separate from the oven sales.
Sure.
You're here at Pizza Expo. You come pretty much every year. You chart what's going on in the industry. What are some things that you're seeing, trends that you're seeing in not just the pizza world, but in wood-fired cooking and in sort of the general culinary world out there? What are some things that are popping up for you?
Peter, I have to admit, I'm really, really excited about the plant-based.
Plant-based.
Plant-based, and I'm telling you, if you talked about the plant-based pizza 5 years ago,
Yeah.
I mean, people would just like, what are you talking about, right? Pretty much every pizza magazine that you subscribe to, they're going really hard on plant-based because I think there's an incredible message, right? And so that's the trend that I see. And of course, you wrote about the Detroit pizza. I mean, that's kind of old news, but I'm telling you,
It was new news a few years ago, and now it's already is.
Yeah.
But to go back to plant-based, are there any challenges that people have when they're working with plant-based, let's say toppings and things, or crusts in a wood-fired oven? Things that they would need to know to make adjustments.
Again, going back a few years ago, some of the ingredients and some of the products that they have evolved. It's night and day. I mean, the cheeses that, the plant-based cheese that they have come up with, and even the meat, right? I mean, you see some big names here.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried at home. I gave up meat about, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a pescatarian. So I am really, really, really excited about it. And another thing that we're doing, I mean, we experiment with a lot of ingredients every wood-fired university because we want to teach our students the latest trends, right?
Yeah.
Because, so that's the beauty of being part of Fire Within.
Yeah.
Because when you look at that 24 people classroom, each person has their own journey. Some people would come and say, I am very passionate about vegan pizza. So we have to help them, right? And I'm blessed to have the community I have, which it's just really diverse. And of course, I'm blessed to have you.
Well, we go back a long way, and we've done a lot of things together. And of course, I loved being able to collaborate with you on things. But also trying to pick your brain a little bit on what your community of owners who are cooks out there in the real world are telling you. What kind of things do they need to know about? What are the trainings that they need to know, or what's the new trends that they should be on top of? Or what are they telling you are the new trends that you need to be on top of?
That's a great point, Peter. COVID changed the way we live, and I think it changed it for a long time to come, right? Touchless transactions. And as a matter of fact, if you talk to Siler, they don't even touch money anymore, right?
At Fire Within.
I'm telling you.
He's not Fire, he's
the King of Fire. King of Fire,
King of
right?
Fire Pizza, Siler Chapman.
And also the technology, right? I mean, he has technology that before he even just get into the truck, the technology and the COVID, he already know how many pies he's going to sell in a certain neighborhood.
Wow.
The orders are already placed. So
Yeah.
talk about managing your ingredients.
Yeah.
So you don't take anything you don't need. He knows his profit margins before he even set foot on that truck, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of trends. So that's what Fire Within been blessed to learn from 1,800 oven owners in all 50 states. How are they adapting?
Yeah, so you're not
The
only
marketplace.
teaching them, but they're teaching you back.
That's right. So we have the feedback system because Peter, industries change, right?
Yep.
So teaching how to make pizza, you can do it all day. But how to go and survive, not only survive, but thrive
Yeah.
in the marketplace, right? How do you conduct yourself? How do you manage your, the food waste, right? All of that is, so we're blessed to learn from our own owners.
There's a lot more to a business than just the food, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Well, I really want to thank you, Ajit, for sharing all of this with us and for being you. And before we leave, last question is, so how are things going here at Expo for you? Are people coming up and showing interest? Are you finding new potential oven owners as a result of being here?
Everybody's excited to see. Peter, when they walk by our ovens, there aren't very many like this. This is one of a kind. Their heads turn, so we have a great reception. And I think actually all the units that we have on the ground are sold.
They sold already.
And
wow.
yeah, so
That's incredible.
We have, so
this event works for you.
Exactly.
And it gets you a new group of owners.
Bill Oakley and of course Pizza Expo, right?
Yeah.
This is the best single food group, and I'm glad to be part of it.
Put on a good show.
And also be among friends, right?
Yeah.
When we come here, we hang out with our friends. It's fun.
You get to see. It's like a tribe.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right. Well, it's great to see you again. Again, thank you, and thank you for letting me come to your booth and sign books. We just had a little book signing. I sold a few books, and I will be back later on. Before I leave, I'll be here for the next day or so.
So, Peter, before I let you go, if the listeners wants to get your book, I know you're going to have your Mike. What is the latest book?
Pizza Quest.
Pizza Quest.
Yeah.
How can they buy that?
Well, now you're giving me a plug. Well, you're going to carry it, aren't you?
I'm going
at your website.
Come to Fire
So that's
Within.
one place. Go to Fire Within website, and you'll carry my book there.
Exactly.
And then and again, they can always get it through Amazon and the usual, but it's
Right.
nice to get it through some of our
course,
some of
because
our friends and sponsors.
because those are going to be signed books.
Because I haven't figured out how to do commerce yet. I don't do that. So I can't. People can't write to me for the book because I can't sell it to them.
Well,
but I can.
you're an educator.
I'll send
You're
it to
an
you.
author.
I'll
That's
send
who
it to
you
you.
are.
When is the next Woodfire University?
It's going to be May 18th through 21st.
So if anyone's listening and you have any interest in going, even if you're not an oven owner, you can go, right?
Absolutely.
Right to Fire Within.
FireWithin.com.
Go to the website, firewithin.com.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you,
I'm
thank
blessed
you.
to have you in my life.
Thank you. I feel the same way.
Great.
I'll see you, and thank all of you for listening. You're listening to Pizza Quest, and join us on the next episode. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Pizza Quest. A number of the conversations you will hear this season were recorded over a 2-day period during the 2023 International Pizza Expo held in Las Vegas, Nevada. These recordings would not have been possible without the help of many people and our generous underwriters, but I'd like to take a moment now to especially thank some of the unsung heroes. My Pizza Quest partners, Jeff Michael and Brad English, our HRN recording producer, Liam Werner, as well as HRN's Matt Patterson and Joanna Garnett-Reipold, and also Alexander Mortati of Orlando Foods, who organized and coordinated the schedules of many of our guests to get them to our recording table throughout the expo. Thank you to all of you. Pizza Quest is powered by Simplecast. Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network, food radio supported by you. Keep in touch at heritageradionetwork.org/subscribe.